Come on, bro-in-law, you sat on my mom's single shoulder with so much confidence yesterday, and here, I am offering you to sit on my both shoulders. You should at least have some confidence in your sister-in-law's strength, right? Mona asks. It is not like that. If the neighbors spot a middle-aged heavy guy like me, sitting on the slim shoulders of his sister-in-law, what will they think? And not just that, if Misha or the kids see the scene, it will not be good at all, Addie says. Don't worry, bro, mom and sis will not come out of the house anytime soon. Also, do you see that corner of the garden? Nobody from outside can see that spot. You can get carried by me without any worry there, Mona says. Addie is unable to understand, why is Mona so determined for performing such a heavy workout? But since she is pestering him so much, he agrees. Tall Mona walks towards the corner of the garden and stands near a tree. Look, bro-in-law, you can take support of the tree if you get any trouble balancing when sitting on my shoulders, Mona says in excitement. Mona now squats on the lawn near the tree and points Addie to sit on her shoulders. Come on, bro, have some confidence in your sister-in-law and sit on her shoulders, Mona says. Addie is feeling nervous looking at the slim shoulders of Mona. Rats, Mona might be taller, but she is still much slimmer than me. Getting lifted up piggyback by a girl is one thing, but a shoulder sit on her is really risky, Addie thinks. But on the other hand, I doubt whether she will be able to even lift me, considering our size difference, Addie thinks. Walking over to Mona, who is still waiting on the ground squatting, Addie now sits on her shoulders and puts his full weight on her. Let us see whether she is as strong as Aisha auntie, Addie thinks. To Addie's surprise, Mona slowly stands up, holding his weight on her slim shoulders. Addie takes support of the tree terrified, as Mona now stands up carrying Addie on her shoulders. Rats, I underestimated Mona's strength, Addie thinks in repentance. Sitting on the shoulders of the tall Mona, Addie is getting a fear of the height too. Well, that was not so tough, was it, bro? Mona laughs. As I had said earlier, you are not as heavy as you look, Mona says and flexes her biceps. What a show-off, Addie thinks and feels her biceps bending down as he is still sitting on Mona's shoulders. Goodness, they are really hard. Addie realizes in shock. Well, look at this, sitting on a girl's shoulder. You are feeling her biceps. I like it, bro, Mona laughs. Curses, this Mona is turning out to be much stronger than I imagined, Addie thinks. Well, it is now squat time, bro, Mona announces. Wait, Addie is saying when Mona does a squat and stands up back slowly, Addie is terrified. Curses, that was a really deep squat. This girl is truly a monster, Addie thinks. Since today is the first day, I will do 10 repetitions only, Mona says. What do you mean the first day? Addie asks in disbelief when Mona squats again. Addie is struggling to balance and at the same time looking in disbelief. One by one, Mona actually completes 10 full deep squats, carrying Addie on her shoulders. Oh wow, my legs are feeling really toned now. Thanks a lot, bro-in-law, for lending me your weight, Mona says in gladness, while still carrying him in a shoulder sit and looking up. I am glad to help you, but now will you put me down, before somebody spots us, Addie pleads to Mona, looking down at her. You worry a lot for nothing, bro-in-law, Mona laughs. Even if anybody spots us, they will only think that a brother and sister are spending quality time. A sweet big brother is helping his younger sis do workouts by letting her carry him. Which again is also true anyway, right? So why worry? Mona asks, as she is still carrying Addie on a shoulder sit. Oh well, that's okay then, he says. Still carrying Addie on her shoulders, Mona now looks up at him. Hey bro-in-law, I need another favor from you, she asks. Another favor, what is it now? Addie asks in worry looking down, as he is still sitting on Mona's shoulder. Shall I get your old bicycle repaired, and use it to attend my dance class? Mona asks with a smile, looking up. You have joined a dance class? Not bad, sister-in-law, you seem interested in a new hobby. And why would I say no to my sweet little sister? Addie laughs. Oh, thank you so much, bro-in-law, Misha says in happiness and even bounces him a few times in glee. Addie has a tough time to balance, as he is thrown up, and lands back on her shoulders. Just then the sky, which was already cloudy, starts to drizzle. Mona lets Addy on his feet and they both go inside the house. After lunch, Mona takes Addy's old bicycle to repair, and then rides it to the nearby dance class. It is almost dark now. Ayesha auntie is cooking, when suddenly the cooking gas is exhausted. Misha is worried. Oh no, here, we usually use cooking gas connected to metal cylinders. The cylinders are placed below in the basement. We will have to manually detach the pipe from the old empty cylinder and connect it to another spare cylinder beside it, she says. Okay, so what is the problem? Aunt Ayesha asks. Well, first, the basement lights are not working, and second, only Addy knows how to disconnect and connect it to a new cylinder, Misha says. Misha now calls Addy to help. Addy is now slowly climbing down the basement with a torch. The basement is flooded with water due to continuous rains, and is very dark. Curses, I should have gotten the lights repaired by now, Addy thinks, as he is slowly climbing down the steps. As Addy slowly wades through the water, he accidentally steps on a nail. Addy cries in pain now. Ayesha auntie, who is looking from above, immediately climbs down the steps to check Addy. Misha is holding a lantern from the above, so that it is not fully dark. Addy is bending down and looking at his feet. The wound is not deep. Thankfully it is only a minor injury, Addy thinks. When Ayesha auntie hurriedly comes near him. Before Addy could respond, Aunt Ayesha holds him by his armpits, and easily lifts up his full weight, like a child, and places him on her hip. Addy is in disbelief. Curse it. She lifted me up on her hip easily, like I weigh nothing to her, he realizes in shock. Show me your feet, Addy, Aunt Ayesha says while still carrying Addy on her hip. Addy is still in shock, and feeling really weird, for being lifted up like a child, by an older bigger woman. Relax, Aunt Ayesha, it was nothing, it is just a small scratch, Addy says laughing. Will you please put me down now? Addy asks. Aunt Ayesha is examining his foot, as she is still carrying him on her hip. Looks like it is not a deep wound after all, she says in relief. That's great. Will you put me down now, please? Addy asks. No way, Aunt Ayesha replies. I am already feeling guilty for making your walk down the attic. I will not risk more injury to you, she says. But we have to connect the gas cylinder to the stove, Addy protests. Otherwise we will not be able to cook anything until it is morning, he says. Ayesha auntie takes the torch which Addy was holding in one hand, while with the other hand, she is holding Addy up, who is still lifted on her hip. She points the torch to the cylinder now. It is too dark and wet to connect the cylinder here, Aunt Ayesha says. Can you connect the cylinder to the stove directly in the kitchen? If we take it there, Aunt Ayesha asks Addy, who is still lifted up on her hip. Yes, it should be possible, but how will that heavy cylinder reach the kitchen? Addy asks. Well, let us carry this full cylinder with us then, Ayesha auntie says. But it is not so easy, Aunt Ayesha. That cylinder easily weighs around 30 kilos when full, Addy says. So what? We only need to carry it till the kitchen, right? She says. Still carrying Addy, holding him with one hand on her hip, Ayesha auntie lifts up the full cylinder on her other hand. Addy cannot believe this. Even a fully grown healthy man has to carry that heavy metal cylinder using both his hands and using his full strength. But Aunt Ayesha is carrying me on her hip, and with the other hand, she is carrying that cylinder too. How is this possible? Addy thinks in shock. Carrying Addy on her hip, and the heavy metal cylinder with her other hand together, Aunt Ayesha climbs the steps back from the basement, carrying the combined weight of them all. Addy is unable to believe what is happening. Oh God, Aunt Ayesha is much stronger than I had imagined, he thinks. Aunt Ayesha climbs up the full staircase, from the basement to the ground floor, while at the same time, carrying Addy on her hip and the heavy metal gas cylinder on her hand. Misha clears the way for Aunt Ayesha, as she walks to the kitchen carrying Addy and the cylinder. Addy manages to connect the gas cylinder with the stove, while still lifted up on the hip of Aunt Ayesha. Thanks a lot, my son-in-law, Aunt Ayesha says. I will cook a nice dish for you today, she announces while still carrying Addy on her hip. Misha is looking with wide eyes at Addy, as Aunt Ayesha is still carrying Addy on her hip, and prepares to start cooking. Well, Aunt Ayesha, now that my work is done, will you please let me down? Addy asks. Oh, of course, my son-in-law. I forgot that you are still carried by me. Ayesha auntie laughs and puts him down. This Aunt Ayesha is unbelievable. She forgot that she is carrying a fully grown man on her hip, and was busy cooking, Addie grumbles. Hey Aunt Ayesha, where is Mona? I have not seen her for a while, Misha asks. Mona has joined a dance class nearby, and surprisingly, it was open today, despite the heavy rains, Aunt Ayesha says. She had taken Addie's old bicycle and gone to attend the first day. She should be back soon. As Addie is standing on the floor, Misha, who is sitting on a chair, pulls Addie into her lap. Are you in your senses? You are carrying me in front of your aunt, Addie whispers to Misha. Look, I don't know all that. My husband is injured, and it is my responsibility to give him first aid, that's it. Misha says and opens the first aid box, while still carrying him on her lap. Aunt Ayesha is pleased to see Misha tending to her husband, while carrying him on her lap. Turning back to the stove, Ayesha auntie now continues with her cooking. Misha dear, make sure Addie walks as little as possible, until his wound is better, she says while checking the food being cooked. Of course Aunt Ayesha, you don't even need to mention it, Misha smiles. Placing the first aid box on the table, Misha now stands up lifting up Addie from her lap, into her arms in a cradle. Addie is horrified. What has gotten into you Misha? You have lifted me up on your arms, with Ayesha auntie standing just nearby, Addie says in desperation. Of course, when Ayesha auntie told me to ensure that you walk as little as possible, then this is what she meant, Misha says. Addie can't believe what is hearing. As Addie is protesting, Misha carries him cradle into the bedroom now. Oh my god Misha, why are you carrying me in your arms, around the house like this? If the kids see this, then what will they think about me? Addie asks. Standing now in front of the bed, Misha is still carrying Addie on her arms. Come on, they will only realize that mom is strong enough to carry dad, that's all, Misha laughs, as she is still carrying Addie cradle. Addie is expecting Misha to put him in bed, but Misha is still looking into his eyes, while carrying him cradle. Addie is feeling uncomfortable now. Misha, why are you still carrying me? Please put me down, he asks. No way, Misha replies. Since I have applied first aid to you, while carrying you on my lap. And I have also carried you to the bed, so I think I deserve a kiss. Misha says. What? Instead of being worried about carrying your heavy husband in your arms, you are more concerned about kissing me? Addie asks in disbelief. Of course, Misha laughs. A wife does not get an opportunity to carry her husband like this daily, on her arms. So why not make best use of it? Misha laughs. Having no option, Addie bends towards her and kisses her on the lips. Carrying her husband in a cradle and being kissed by him, Misha is enjoying it thoroughly. The clock is ticking, and Addie is getting bored of being carried on his wife's arms now, but Misha is still enjoying the kiss, moaning lightly. Oh God, this woman will never put me down, Addie thinks in desperation. Taking a deep breath, after the long kiss with her husband, while still carrying him on her arms. Misha now looks at her husband with her big eyes. How do you think Mona is doing with her job? Misha asks. What do you mean by her job? Addie asks, as he is still lifted up in a high cradle by his wife. Babysitting our kids of course, Misha says. Well Mona is capable of even babysitting me, along with the kids, Addie replies. Misha starts laughing. Of course, she is my sister is it not? She says. I hope you will not mind if Mona takes a few hours off and goes to the dance class daily, Misha says, while still carrying Addie cradle. Of course, why should I have any issues? Addie asks. Thanks my sweet husband, you have always been the most understanding person I have ever seen, Misha says in gladness and bounces him on her arms. Addie's heart skips a beat as he is thrown in the air for a second by his wife. The kids suddenly enter the house after playing on the lawn. Startled, Misha puts Addie on the bed and leaves in a hurry. Addie is feeling desperate now. I went to help Aunt Ayesha and Misha, but ended up being lifted up by both of them, and to make matters worse, this Misha is appearing to get stronger and stronger with each passing day. When will this ever end? Addie laments. Mona is back from the dance class now. Misha and the kids are having dinner at the table with Aunt Ayesha. Addie is watching TV in the room alone, as his leg is bandaged, thanks to the injury. Addie goes to the bathroom limping, and is now near its door, trying to get back into the bedroom. Mona now knocks the door and comes in with dinner for Addie. She notices that Addie is about to jump from the bathroom floor into the bedroom, as the bathroom floor is a bit higher than the bedroom. Hey bro-in-law, stop, Misha says and hurries towards him. She places the plate on the table. I got to know from my mom that you got hurt trying to fix the stove, Mona says. Oh well, such accidents are not in our control, right, Addie says, while getting ready to jump. No bro, why are you straining yourself when your little sister is there to help you? Please wait there, Mona says. Addie thinks that Mona will help him by supporting him to walk and waits for her to come near him. But to Addie's shock, Mona sweeps him off his feet into a high cradle, right into her arms, clean from the bathroom floor. Rats, you lifted me up into a cradle, like I am one of the kids, Addie says in disbelief, looking down as he is now high up in the arms of Mona. Sorry bro, I cannot help, I have orders from my mom and sister that you will not walk on your feet today, Mona says with a smile. Also bro-in-law, thanks for lending me your old bicycle, I had the best day of my life today, thanks to that old bicycle. Mona says in excitement, and bounces him on her arms, whom she is still carrying in cradle. I will keep that bicycle as a prized possession all my life, Mona says in excitement. Oh God, this Mona appears to have become stronger, because of happiness, Addie thinks. That's fine Mona, but will you please put me on the bed, and then explain what happened, Addie says. If Misha spots me being lifted up in the arms of my sister-in-law, can you imagine what she will think? And what about the kids, Addie asks. Don't worry bro-in-law, everyone is busy having dinner. I still have some time, before putting you down, Mona laughs. But bro-in-law, I am sorry, your bicycle has become dirty. Because of that incident, Mona says. Oh no, did you meet with an accident, Addie asks. Of course not, Mona laughs, as she is still carrying Addie cradle. I just met a very special guy today while coming back. This city is proving really lucky for me, Mona says with dreamy eyes. Who knows what new things will come in my life, she says. Just then they hear Misha coming to the room talking with the kids. Mona places Addie back to the bed. I will tell what happened tomorrow morning. Good night for now, she says and leaves. Curses, I am being lifted and carried by the women of this house non-stop, from the past few days. When will this ever end? Addie thinks in despair. It is sleeping time now. Addie helps the kids sleep by reading a story and patting them to sleep. As the kids fall asleep, Misha now walks towards Addie, looking deeply into his eyes. Addie's heart sinks as Misha seems to have dressed for the night, with the sole intention of devouring him on bed. You know, after all these years, I have realized that you have been such a good husband to me, Misha says, looking into his eyes. Addie moves a little back, feeling a bit scared now. And if that is not enough, you have also proven to be such a good dad to my kids, Misha says and comes closer. Addie is now sure that Misha is going to make the night tough for him. Come on, I am just like any other husband and father in this world, Addie says in fear as Misha now bends towards him, as he is sitting on the bed. Misha now comes closer with a smile, runs her hands below his knees and chest, and to Addie's shock, she easily lifts him up into a cradle, right from the bed into her arms. Curses, I got lifted up again, in the arms of a woman, Addie despairs. Looking at how high he has been lifted up, on the arms of the tall Misha, he hugs her tightly in fear. Misha is breathing heavily in pleasure, as she is being hugged tightly by her husband, whom she is carrying in her arms. Why did you lift me up so suddenly, Misha? Addie asks in surprise. You could have at least told me, before lifting me up like this, Addie says. Why should I, when you have given me so many reasons today, to feel happy, Misha says. As she is looking with her big eyes at Addie, whom she is still carrying in a cradle. Are you serious? What have I done, to make you feel like carrying me like this? Addie asks in helplessness. Addie looks at his reflection in the mirror as his wife Misha is carrying him in a cradle. Curses, I am looking like a small kid in the arms of its mother, Addie realizes. Misha now sits on the bed, carrying Addie on her lap. You know, if a man is a good husband and a good father to her offspring, then that woman will naturally get a strong urge to make love to him, right? Misha says. Addie is speechless. It is raining heavily now. Misha again comes on top, holding Addie's hands forcefully against the bed. Oh no, Misha is more aggressive than usual today, Addie laments. As Addie's helpless moans are again heard throughout the night, but it is covered by the sound of heavy rain outside. Curses, I could not get full sleep even this night, Addy laments as he is fully exhausted and drained, early in the morning. Addy is trying to get some more sleep, when Misha wakes up. After giving a tight early morning smooch to Addy, who is still lying on bed, she gets up, and helps the kids get ready. The kids are having breakfast on the dining table. Addy is still limping, but he is determined to go to the office. If I stay at home today, I will surely get lifted and carried by these strong women in the house, and worse, I could become prey to Misha's lust. She is not only getting more and more stronger, but also passionate these days, Addy thinks in desperation. What is this, my husband? You are not going anywhere, you will work from home today, Misha announces, as she places breakfast on the table. No way, Addy protests. I have important work today. Misha comes towards him smiling, and gets closer, towering over him. Misha has washed her hair and has let it open. The sweet scent of the shampoo is already melting Addy, as she is now towering over him. Misha's open hair now comes over Addy's face. Suddenly Misha turns towards the side, grabs Addy from behind and lifts him up on her hip. Addy is in shock. Darn it, Misha had never carried me on her hip, but today even this has happened, Addy thinks in desperation. Lifted up on the hip of his tall wife, Addy is looking at his wife with a shocked expression. Misha, why are you now carrying me like one of the kids? Addy squeals. Of course, no matter if it is the kids or the husband, if they act naughty, then Mom will carry them on the hip and discipline them, Misha says. Addy is helpless as he is now lifted in a hip lift by his tall wife, as she is standing comfortably carrying him. Addy tries to get down forcibly, but strong Misha has grabbed him by his behind with a tight grip, and is standing comfortably despite carrying his full weight. Rats, I had never imagined that one day Misha will carry me on her hip like this. To make her point, Addy laments. I can carry you on my hip like this the whole day, but I will never let you go to the office today, Misha announces. Fine, have it your way, Addy responds in a defeated tone. Misha is really happy now, still carrying Addy on her hip. Misha runs her hand on his behind passionately. You know, when Aunt Ayesha lifted you up on her hip in that basement, I really felt hot, Misha says. Addy is in disbelief. I thought you did not like your husband lifted up by some other woman, Addy says. I don't know about others, but when I see my man lifted up and dominated by a tall, strong, powerful woman, I really feel like making love to him, Misha says as she is rubbing her palms on his behind. Oh God, this Misha is getting more and more strange, as she is also getting stronger, Addy thinks. As Misha is still carrying Addy on her hip, and feeling his behind, Addy is feeling uncomfortable. I like the way you have put your arms around my shoulders, Misha says. Oh God, Misha will keep carrying me on her hip like this, the whole day, if I don't do something now, Addy thinks. Will you please put me down? I need to join work using the laptop, Addy says. Come on my dear husband, have you not realized that we have a new rule now, Misha laughs. Rule, what rule? Addy asks. Whenever your wife is carrying you, you will have to kiss her, if you want her to put you down, Misha announces. Helpless, Addy now bends down and kisses Misha again on her lips. Carrying her husband on her hip and being kissed by her husband in the lips, Misha is moaning slowly and feeling his behind. It has been a while now, but neither is Misha tired of carrying Addy on her hip, or satisfied by his kiss. Misha is feeling more passionate and is thinking of making love again with Addy, when Aunt Ayesha calls her from the kitchen. Distracted by Aunt Ayesha's voice, Misha puts Addy back on the floor. Don't forget to finish your breakfast, Misha says and leaves. Addy is now working with his laptop in the room, when Misha comes in with coffee. It is almost afternoon now and raining heavily outside. A meeting is going on now. It is Addy's turn to report work. Addy, where are you? The boss is calling from the laptop. Misha has lifted up Addy on her lap, and they are kissing passionately. Without caring for the meeting, which is happening in the laptop on the front. Addy, are you there? The boss calls out. Still being carried on the lap of his wife, Addy now puts on the headphone and joins the meeting, as Addy is attending the meeting, while sitting on his wife's lap. Misha hugs him from behind. It is lunchtime now, as Addy is working. Aunt Ayesha, Misha and Mona now stand in front of Addy together. All are wearing raincoats and a mask on their face. Addy is shocked. Rats, I suddenly thought that 3 bandits have entered the house, Addie says, feeling surprised. The story will continue, gentlemen. Please wait for the next part.